All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tatum Show. Today I'm coming out swinging. We have the Odyssey cast that's probably the craziest fallout that I've seen in movie history. And then we got Rahm Emanuel. You probably don't even know who he is. He's coming against the Democrats. But the moral of the story is the Democrats are imploding, and even their biggest supporters are coming out against them. Wesley Hunt, Don Lemon, Joy Reid, insanity. Wait till you hear what Don Lemon had to say about this and that bald head fool, Joy Reid. Before we get to any of that, we got to talk about The View and TMZ doing their best to come after Spencer Pratt, and they failed miserably. Welcome to the Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. Welcome back. I want to give a big shout out to all the members. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe channel or like and subscribe button on the channel. And if you haven't joined the membership, the join button as well. Those are very important to the channel. I know some of you guys watch, you like the content, you want to subscribe to me. You may not know that you're not subscribed. So make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. It benefits us greatly, and we can get the message out to everybody. Let's get right into the first topic, and that is Spencer Pratt. I want to say something personal about Spencer Pratt. I was able to meet him over the weekend. I was able to talk to him. I saw him in person give his pitch of why he should be the mayor of LA, and I was blown away. He's a genuine guy. He has a great message. He's down to earth. He's charismatic, and I think he's the best thing for LA. He ain't paying me nothing. I ain't a part of none of his campaign. I don't even live in LA, and I don't even like going to LA. I don't even fly to LAX. I go to Burbank. So just saying that to say the guy is genuinely has some momentum, and I really think he will do a great job for you Los Angelans. How you say it? What they call it? Los Angelos or something like that. I don't know. I don't live there. But anyway, Angelinos. There you go. Los Angelinos or Angelinos is what you call it. He would do well for you guys, and it would be in your best interest to vote for this guy. But let me give you some caveats here. I think that he's doing an incredible job. I think he's running a tremendous campaign. And one thing that I would add that I would like to see Spencer Pratt do is Spencer Pratt needs to have content and relationships and connections with the black community. I'm telling you, I think the only reason why he's not over Karen Bass' sorry, ashy elbows is because I don't see Spencer Pratt getting the coverage in the black community that he needs. He needs to be at a barbershop having a conversation, because I know for a fact if he sat down and talked to the black community in LA and the Hispanic community in LA specifically, everything that he proposes is beneficial to them and better than what these other fools are doing. The only reason why Karen Bass is still in the position she is because they play identity politics. She's black, she's a woman, and she's a Democrat. So if Spencer Pratt would have ran as an independent or Democrat and he gets, some vibe from the black community, win, hands down, he would win. However, I want to see y'all turn out for him. Let's play what TMZ had to say about him, and also we're going to get to the VER because they stupider than two left shoes on a three-legged man. Roll the clip.
The campaign ad certainly made it seem that you were living in that trailer. It was a high point of the commercial, but you're at the Hotel Bel Air. So kind of undo that for us.
No, to be clear, that is where, excuse me, that is where I live. That's where Karen Bass, Mayor Bass, burned down my house. That is where I will live until I have a new house. The Airstream is a temporary facility. A hotel is a temporary facility. Where my kids are in Santa Barbara right now is a temporary housing. This is where I live. This is where they burned my house down. So this semantics or the nuance of this is the consequences of their failed leadership. And again, I don't live at the Hotel Bel Air. I don't live in the Airstream. I don't live in the Santa Barbara. I don't have a house. They burned it down. That is why I got into this race, because of these people that will burn your house down and act like it's no problem. So this idea that anyone's like, oh, he's at a hotel. I'm at a hotel because these psychopaths are messaging me every day. They're going to kill me because Nithya Raman is calling me a fascist because I don't want people to have their kids next to drug addicts at the park or stepping in human poop when you get your matcha. I have common sense. That's not fascism. So these psychos here, I'm a fascist, and then they literally, like, if you would like to see the death threats, I can send them all offline where people are like, I'm going to hire people to kill you. So yes, unfortunately, now I have a security team, and they will not, even if I wanted to stay in the Airstream, would let me, because there's 360 unobstructed views since there's no houses. So you can literally snipe me out from any part from 300 yards away easily.
Spencer,
And not
can-
to
no,
mention,
I-
one sec. Not to mention, the Airstream, it took over a month for LADWP to connect a wire for electricity to it, which was 3 days ago. It took weeks to get the water hooked up, which was yesterday. So for these people that want to focus on where I sleep at night, first off, I don't even sleep. I get 4 hours of sleep because I'm fighting these corrupt freaking politicians all day long. You want to see my phone hours? I'll screenshot it. It probably says
Spencer,
19 hours.
They continue. I don't want to talk much. They continue. Listen to what he said. Genuine, authentic articulation of why he's running, and he cleared it up. What are you saying? He don't live in a hotel. That's not his home. He owns the property that they burned down. Where is he supposed to sleep? On a beanbag? He's campaigning. He has to go somewhere and campaign. If you want to take a shower and you want his whole family to live in that stream, he has to move around. It should have been done, but they continue. Roll the clip.
I hear what you're saying, and on the symbolism of your ad that because of the fire that you don't have a home, and I get that, but there's something to the point where you say in the ad, "This is where I live," while you're standing in front of a trailer. I think the reason that ad was so effective with voters is because you did draw this visual comparison of where the mayor lives, where Nithya Raman lives, and where you live. So you're showing where they live, and then you're saying, "This is where I live." Everyone saw that ad and thought, wow, Spencer Pratt has to live in that trailer because his house burned down.
I do, sir.
But
that is my house. That is
for the
my
last
house.
month and a half, you've been at the Bel Air Hotel.
I haven't been at the Bel Air Hotel for more than 6 days in the last month. This is all public
Right,
on my things.
but that's where you've been staying. I know you may not have actually been in it.
No, I've been in Santa Barbara where the LA Times reported where I lived and doxed me. That is where I live, period. This is LA Times. This isn't breaking news. Even when the Airstream ad came out, the LA Times cover story is saying, no, Spencer Pratt lives in Santa Barbara. And I said, yes, thank you for doxing me. I tried to sue the LA Times for saying where I actually live.
But but are you saying you live in that trailer?
I don't live anywhere, is what I'm saying. I don't have a house. They burned it down, Harvey. I don't have a house.
But why not
Period.
say that? But Spencer, that would be really effective. Why not say that in the ad? I don't have a home.
You texted me today. I have never told anyone I lived in it. And yet in the ad you say, this is where I live.
This is my house. This is my property. There's nothing there, Harvey. It's dirt lot. I had to have it craned in to the lot. That's what people are. This is psycho. I only got on this live because I love you. But so last time I'm going to talk about this because the reason I am running is because they burned down 7,000 houses. This is where everyone lives. They don't not consider that their home just because it's a dirt lot, because it's an Airstream, a teepee, a tent. When you're a fire victim, this is where you live. They burn it down. This is where I always will live. People are missing the messaging of the consequences.
I don't know how they don't understand that. It's his home. This is where he lives. This is address. This is where everything. It got burned down. So temporarily, y'all could talk to this man about so much other stuff. Temporarily, he got to go stay in Santa Barbara. He got to go stay at a hotel. He's got a campaign. The man got to do all kinds. Kids got to go to school and stuff. What are y'all saying? Why are we even talking about? The man's house got burned down. Y'all act like he actually lives over here. He lived right there where that house was at until they burnt it down. All right. Spencer, I think it's one more clip, and then we're gonna move on.
And if people care about this right now, we're in so much trouble. And I'm going to do my best to try to save LA. But if people don't get out and vote because they want to feel safe, and that's what I'm fighting for people to feel safe and their tax money to literally go to making us safe and the people to get housed and people not to die on the street, that's the message. So this does not matter. That is where I live, period. And I'll live in LA as long as I have that dirt lot. The Airstream is imaginary to me. I live in that dirt, in my ashes. That's what I fight for. So I love you guys. Keep posting me. Please use better photos. God bless you.
Thanks, Spencer.
How do you not like the guy? And then look at Karen Bass, sorry, Ash. Look at Karen Bass. Like the energy of the two separate individuals should tell you everything you need to know. How do you guys in LA feel comfortable with this nappy head woman? And I'm not saying nappy head because she really got nappy hair. Look at that. Look at stuff in her head. How do y'all feel comfortable and confident that this woman is competent enough to run it? When all of your problems that you recognize in LA, these people are running LA. Have you guys not put two and two together and say, I want something different? Like, we can't keep going on like this. LA is not improving. It's not improving by any measure. Here's Karen Bass and The View losing their socks over Spencer Pratt. Roll the clip.
But what's worrying me now is that his social media is now taking on a violent turn.
Violent.
And that worries me, because when you do that and when your messages are so hateful, or when you demonize people, then you do provoke people who are unstable, and you can jeopardize people's safety.
You mean like the throwing of the tomatoes?
Well, the throwing of the tomatoes, which look like blood, or drowning me and the governor in a reservoir. But there's also other violent scenes. And so I've noticed that it's taking on a violent trend.
Throwing tomatoes, it looks like blood. Well, tomatoes are red, okay? Like, it's a symbolism of throwing tomatoes. When people are doing a bad job, boo, you guys are not performing, you throw tomatoes at them. What are we talking about? That's a traditional, I wouldn't say iconic, but it's a traditional form of saying we disapprove of your behavior. And so when they're performing and the people in the crowd are like, this is sucky performance, they throw tomatoes. That's why you see, this is where they get the concept, you know how you review the movies and you have the Rotten Tomato ratings. That's where they get the whole concept from. And they know this, but they want to frame it as violence. It's clearly an AI video, so it's fake, and they're not shooting anybody. There's no real violence in that video. Even when he's a superhero, he's just throwing guys out of the way. He's throwing guys to this side. He's not beating them. They're not dying. There's no violence here, y'all. It's all made up BS. Because you know what's going to happen? Is people not going to watch the video. People are not going to look into it. And they're going to put in their mind that there's actually violence going on in these AI videos. Here's Whoopi Goldturds and what she had to say. Roll the clip.
You know, I'm glad we're not showing it, because it stunned me. And especially when we're talking about, we have to tone down the violence. And I mean, I was kind of freaked out by what I saw, because this was more.
Tomatoes?
But, I mean, people are asking, are we going to see more celebrities and reality stars like Pratt getting into politics? If they know what they're doing, I welcome anybody who knows how to do this. But if you're going to be like the guy who's already in charge, thank you, no.
Yeah.
Thank you, no. I'm not happy with what's going on, and I think it's a celebrity. Just because somebody's famous or is famous for something doesn't mean they know what's going on and how you are thinking and how you're feeling.
I would argue, they say he's a celebrity. Like, this dude was on a show like 15 years ago. Like, once you were on a show, you're a celebrity for the rest of your life. I mean, that's like if somehow I move on and I'm not doing podcasts anymore and I become a businessman and that's all I do is business for the next 15 years and I don't even do a podcast. And they go, he's just a podcaster. That's just like, what's his name? Pete Hegseth. Oh, he's just a Fox News. He served in the military. Did y'all forget that he served in the military? Like, they don't add this to his credentials. They want to only add. They want to only credentialize the things that they think will detract you from wanting to vote for the person. His celebrity status is irrelevant at this point. I mean, it's not as relevant. But here's the wasted face. I guess she had a baby and came back to the show. She looked good, but her brain, it's like, you could have give that face and that whole look. She is kind of little, so but you give that face and that look and all that to a person with a brain, because you just wasted it all. Roll the clip.
I think Karen Bass handled the fires disastrously, but actually being qualified to take on that role is what's hard.
So Karen Bass will be running against Spencer Pratt.
She is. And,
okay, I just want to make this point. Yeah. So Karen Bass has a JFK Profile and Courage Award. She navigated California through the worst economic crisis since the Depression.
Time out.
Spencer
navigated. Didn't make it better. Didn't do much to improve. That means she was sitting in the chair while it was happening. I don't know people that's like, LA is better than it used to be. I'm excited to live in LA. I can't wait to go to LA this weekend. Only reason LA got people wanting to come there because they do concerts and stuff. Like, nobody's like, I want to go to LA and hang out. Unless they go specifically to Rodeo Drive or something and then they leave. Nobody want to go stay there. Nobody's trying to go buy houses there. Nobody wants to live there. I mean, I'm saying generally speaking. Nobody's flocking from Texas to go live in LA. It's not happening. Keep it going.
Pratt was Snapchatter of the Year at the 2018 Shorty Awards.
Yeah.
Just, that's all.
Well, I think you're talking about qualifications, right?
Yeah.
And the problem that I have with someone like Spencer Pratt throwing his hat into this particular ring as LA mayor, we're talking about a $14.9 billion budget for the city. It's the second largest city budget in the country. And he is not qualified for it. And we see what happens when people are not qualified for their jobs.
Paul, they get elected 3 times. And Trump should have got elected 3 times already. When they're not qualified for their job, he wins an election over all the people who you claim are qualified. Then he runs again in 2020. He actually won. I think they did shenanigans. Okay, let's just say he didn't. He ran again in 2024 and won by a lot. So why are you lying? Why are you guys making up stuff that's not real? Smallifications. Who cares about something on a piece of paper? Can you get the mother freaking job done? That's the question. And clearly, career politicians don't do anything. The country was not built for politicians to run the country. The country was built for people to represent a constituency. You never had to have a law degree and do all of that old crazy stuff just to represent the people. What happens is, are you the right person that we believe can get the things done we want to get done? The average person should be able to run for office because that person who lives amongst the people, who lives in the community, who understands the woes that they have, will be somebody that can go and represent them. The qualification ideology is that I'm smarter than y'all, so I make all the decisions. That's not the way a constitutional republic works. The constitutional republic works that you are like us, and we would like for you to represent what we want to happen. But when they start credentializing this stuff, it makes it as if, vote for me, I'm smarter than y'all, y'all are too stupid to run your own cities, so I'm gonna run your cities for you because I'm the only one qualified. That's not the way this works. Finish the clip.
That's not to say that this hasn't happened before. We've had Ronald Reagan, who was an actor. Some people would say he was a great president. We've had
but he was the president of SAG at one point.
Yes,
he was a union president.
He was a union president. He was a governor before.
He was a governor.
And then you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was an actor and then a governor. And by many accounts, he did well. But these are people, I think, that sometimes are, anomalies, that may not necessarily be the case. And there are baby steps you can take. Like, why not run for city council and learn?
Arnold, I want to call her B, but I really want to go to heaven. Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't even born here. Like, so he was a foreigner. He was doing bodybuilding. Now, he got a lot of other stuff, but he was a bodybuilder. And he ran for governor in a what they call it, a runoff situation. I forget what you call it, where you recall. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. So he won in a recall. He was a bodybuilder taking steroids and lifting weights. Now, of course, he say he didn't take steroids, but everybody say they natty, and they ain't natty. Okay, just know they ain't natty. But for all accounts, allegedly, I think he was probably, hitting that D-ball and all that stuff. So regardless of that, he ran, he won, he did well. Why? He didn't even have to be an American citizen. Well, I don't know what his citizenship situation was. He didn't have to be even born in America to do a good job in L.A. You just disproved your point. You claim people are anomalies. Show me another anomaly where there was a mayor of L.A. that was not a career politician in the last several mayors. Okay, that's what I thought. This guy is an anomaly, and I think he can do a great job. Let her finish, Brandon. Let her finish.
Learn about the city budget, and then maybe become president of the city council, and then maybe become the mayor.
But Sonia, pushing back on your qualifications thing, I would say, again, back to Congress. Look at all the qualified professional politicians with all the legal degrees and Ivy Leagues who just bent the knee and were complicit. I'd much rather have someone with less qualifications and more like chutzpah getting in there than that. So that
he's also a liar, because he's a registered Republican, and he's running saying that he has no party affiliation, and that's just also not true.
My thing is this, because I tend to agree, like, I will take on an outsider if they're passionate and they're involved in the community,
and
even if they don't have. I don't think a law degree makes you more qualified than somebody who's involved in their community. A community organizer,
a senator.
Well, it's more qualified. Okay, no one's arguing that Obama is more qualified.
That statement is absurd. Yeah, no one agrees with him.
He's absurd. He's an absurdity.
What I'm going to say here is there are a lot of people who feel completely left behind after the wildfires. It was a disaster. You could place blame a lot of places.
You could.
One thing that he's pointed out is that under Karen Bass's leadership, $17 million was cut from the fire budget. That is a real-world thing that somebody should solve. But I think she should be questioned. She should be answering why it turned out as poorly as it did. Spencer may not be the answer, but that's
he's not the answer.
He is not the answer.
They go, he's not the answer. Y'all don't want him to be the answer because he's white. You don't want him to be the answer because he's a Republican. I think Spencer should have ran as an independent or a Democrat. I'm telling you, like, I'm too popular now. People, mask off. They know who I am. If I somehow wanted to run in L.A., even if I'm staunch conservative, I would run as a Democrat. I'll run as a Democrat because all you got to do is go to all the places where all the Republicans are. You're like, look, I got to be a Democrat because that's just the numbers, the registration. People vote party line. They don't even care. They vote party line. Run as a Democrat. It don't hurt you. Run as an independent. It won't hurt you. I vote for a Democrat. Like, for instance, if there was a mayor or a governor of Arizona, the slew-footed nut job that we got in there right now is a mindless idiot. Now, if there was a person that came along that said we're going to strengthen our borders, we're going to have a very competitive tax code, we're going to encourage business to come to the city, no illegal aliens in our city, all this stuff, and they were a Democrat, and they were better than a Republican, I'll vote for the Democrat. Why wouldn't you? I don't care what your party line is, because all of it is stupid anyway. What are you going to do for us? If a Democrat ran for office and was better than J.D. Vance, I'd vote for the Democrat. I don't even know why people, like, I wish that there was no party line affiliation. We don't need parties. What are you going to do for the people? I don't give a what. I should know your party by your message. I should know your party by your registration. We should, I know that the founding fathers had a good concept when they created this, but I don't think they expected it to be so partisan as it is today. Get rid of that party stuff. I don't need you to be a Democrat or Republican. I need you to articulate what you're going to do for the people and what is your track record of that solution. And then present that, and I'll vote for you. Anyway, I think we beat that dead horse to oblivion. All right, let's move on to the Odyssey. Let's do Wesley Hunt real quick, and then we'll do the Odyssey, because Wesley Hunt is something that's making me infuriated how they're treating Wesley Hunt. Wesley Hunt is the exemplification of where I think black people should be headed in this country. So let's pull up Wesley Hunt's clip real quick. This is where the controversy started. Wesley Hunt said this, which is the same thing that every black ancestor that we have would be saying if they were alive today. all of the reason was not Martin Luther King, that was a reverend that never did a sermon, that had hookers and prostitutes and doing orgies. I'm not talking about that guy that wanted to push black people into being communists. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the other ones that had a mission and vision, who lived through slavery and understand the freedoms that are afforded to them by the United States of America. They would be looking to the future and saying, we should become Wesley. We want to create Wesley Hunts. We don't want to create Don Lemons. Black people used to be religious. They want a strong black man that's educated, that has a family, that's believing in the American dream. That's why black people didn't leave here. They stayed here to reinvigorate or be a part of what was already promised, and that is the American dream. They didn't want Don Lemon with a man on his back every night. That's not what our founding fathers saw the future of the black man. Let's keep it 100. Come on, Wesley. Play the clip.
I'm seeing a lot of talk from my colleagues on the left, too, as we shift toward this reinvigorated talk about Jim Crow and the past of this country. And as someone who is a direct descendant of a slave, as someone whose great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, I can assure you slavery is over. Jim Crow is dead.
Yes.
When I go anywhere, I don't see any white-only signs.
Yes.
I don't, I promise you. I am a black man that represents a white majority district in Texas. The great-great-grandson of a man born on a plantation stands before you today as a proud conservative Republican from Texas, as a believer and follower in Christ, and as a believer in what this country can be if we allow equality for not just Muslim Americans, not just Buddhist Americans, but also Christian Americans like yourself.
Come on, Wesley. Throw the mic down. Take it and break it and throw it down. There's nothing else that needs to be said. As a man of faith, as a proud American, every black person in America should have a conceptualization of what Wesley Hunt said. But instead, these beta, weak, limp wrist weirdos that still want to hold on to the past because they don't have a vision for their own future end up like this. This is what Don Lemon Juice had to say about Wesley Hunt's statement. Roll it.
Appearing to have no historic or current knowledge of the state of America and race relations. But he actually thinks he's not like them. You know what I'm saying? The N-words. Yeah. What kind of self-hatred, self-hating person could even think that? What kind of self-hatred and delusion must you have in order to even think something like that? How do you even look in the mirror? How do you sleep at night? What do you tell your kids? What do you tell your kids? What do you tell your black kids? Because I don't know. I think maybe he's in an interracial marriage. I have nothing against that, but your kids are still black, right? Because you're in an interracial marriage.
Hold on,
so what do you tell your?
Don't you say, Don Lemon? You better shut your freaking mouth. You almost, let me tell y'all, these people so fake, it's crazy. He almost tried to play the interracial relationship thing. He almost tried to do it. You see him? I guess he's in there. You are too. You got a white man on your back every night. Don't you play no interracial. You got a white man humping your back every night. And you want to say something about Wesley Hunt. Shut the front door. How long? What do you tell your black children? Both of my kids are, according to y'all, black. I don't tell them nothing that I wouldn't. White people don't tell their kids. You work hard, you believe in God, you have integrity, be a good person. You know what I'm saying? Pursue excellence, believe in yourself. What else am I telling them? Oh, man, I know you see your daddy's doing well and your daddy don't experience racism, and if you're a good person, white people, black people, everybody will work with you. I know your daddy started from here and he became here, and your grandfather don't have no problems. He retired 40-some years. Wait, your grandmother don't have, but racism is gonna turn your life up. That's what I'm supposed to tell my kids. My kids look at my life, and I gotta tell them the opposite of what they see. My kids know I got black friends, I got white friends. My kids got black, white friends. One of my oldest sons' best friends is a white boy. Nobody cares about that, bro. It don't matter. Let him finish. He got 11 seconds. Lord, help me.
Kids. How do you deal with your constituents? He says, well, I'm in I'm in a majority white district, but maybe that's why he feels that he is not like them, that he's one of.
You know what bothers me about this, Don Lemon Juice and them, is that they subconsciously believe they're less than white people. That's what I'm saying. Like, the lowest common denominator of stupidity is some of these ignorant black folks. And so, because I'm saying I'm not like them, I'm somehow thinking I'm white. So that means if I'm not selling drugs, sagging my pants, have a negative outlook on my life, I hate my country that I won't move away from, that all of my ancestors died so I can be in this country, and all of that I'm perceiving. And if I'm a black man and say I don't agree with that, somehow I want to be like the white man who believes in America, who believes in themselves, who believes in equal opportunity, who works hard, who has integrity, who's not sagging their pants and acting a fool every single day and shooting up their community, listening to drill music. Like what are you saying here? Why does the goodness is associated with the white people in the mind of a black man? There's a lot of black men that I aspire to be like, that are very smart and entrepreneurial, and they love this country. I don't just see white men when I see excellence. But these dumb Negroes, when they see white men, they see excellent. When they see black men, they think we all the same. Why can't we have diversity in our race? It gets worse. The bald-head heifer, she came on the show to talk even more about stupider stuff than what he just said. Roll the clip.
As smart as I know my ass is, Ketanji Brown is smarter. Smartest person I've ever met in my life. When you smart, I'm smart. That lady is smart on a level I've never seen before. And her 3 roommates were even smarter. These girls were so smart that we were shocked that we'd ever met anybody that intelligent. And Amy Coney Barrett, on the other hand, is a Supreme Court justice just like Ketanji, even though her qualifications are minuscule compared to Ketanji's. Maybe that's the affirmative action we've been getting. White people who are essentially mediocre in scale compared to a black person getting the spot because they wanted a conservative. Maybe the way that J.D. Vance got into Yale is because they were tired of just letting in white men from New York who chose.
Time out. We'll get to J.D. Y'all listen to the stupidity. This woman just said Ketanji Brown she was qualified, that's why she got the job, but Amy Coney Barrett was not qualified, and she got the job just because she was conservative. Last time I checked, when Donald Trump nominated Amy Coney Barrett, he never mentioned her race, he never mentioned her gender. When Sister Mama gets picked, Joe Biden said, I'm going to pick a black woman. A black woman, not a black man, not a woman, but a black woman. What does that mean? That means that he is saying, I don't care if you're more qualified than Ketanji Brown Jackson. I don't care if you're a man and you're more qualified, a woman and you're not black and you're more qualified. I don't care. I'm going to pick her because she's a woman and because she's a black woman. And you telling me that Ketanji Brown Jackson is not DEI hire? There were women that probably was more intelligent than she is. But they didn't get picked because they weren't black. There's probably black men who were far more intelligent and qualified to be on the Supreme Court. But they didn't get picked because they're not a woman. Make up your mind, gangster. Roll the clip.
From all the elite schools, and they wanted an Appalachian white. That's how that man got into Yale, I promise you. Same thing with Ron DeSantis from a small town in Florida. They wanted to just get out of the New York, D.C. matrix, Massachusetts matrix, and let somebody into Harvard and Yale who came from a different place. He came from Florida. Baby, that's also affirmative action and DEI.
He's not
so
white.
Before y'all start going crazy about DEI just meaning they let black people in just on the basis of being black, think a little more critically. And think about the fact that it's also disabled people, military veterans, people who come from Appalachia, white folks who come from Alaska and different places that they don't normally come from, indigenous people, Latinos, Asians. And the last thing I'll say about this, for all of y'all people on Fox that are going to clip this because y'all mad about affirmative action, because yes, I embrace affirmative action because I belonged at Harvard and I was smarter than all the legacies I went to school with.
Time out. I want y'all to understand her history real quick. She admitted that she wasn't as qualified. to go to Harvard. And she was let into Harvard because she's black. This woman is such a hypocrite. She was not smart. She did not go, she was because she was black. Look at how she talks. Look at how she presents herself. Look at her arguments. Her logical reasoning behind things are pee poor. They let you in because you were black, sis. You're not smart at all. That's why you're on a podcast with Don Lemon right now. All right, 50 seconds left. Roll it.
Who only were there because they were rich and their parents had a name on one of the buildings, and they didn't go to class, and I did. So I'm just going to let y'all know that we see affirmative action as these schools searching for people they wouldn't have ordinarily found without deliberately looking for us. They would have just let the same mediocre white men from rich families in. But instead, they let me in. And because of that, you now have the ability to attack me, right wingers. You have the ability to know who I am when I don't know who most of y'all are. But you know me because affirmative action brought me your way. Tell the Lord, thank you. Be grateful for all that God has given you. God knows what God is doing. She a smart, smart lady.
She's probably black.
And she definitely black.
Joy Reid, thank you.
It's funny. I wonder why Don Lemon get a pass, though. Because they often criticize people for being in interracial relationships. And Don Lemon gets a pass. Because technically, you ain't black enough if you married to a white woman. If you're a black man married to a white woman, they criticize you. But you ain't black. You ain't invited to the barbecue. You got a white woman and your kids mixed. But then they let this gay dude, it's because he's gay. They let him hump on a white man and they go, oh, no, we act like we don't see that. You know, let me just say this and then I'm going to skip over the Odyssey. I want to talk about the dummy of the day because this segue right into this black foolishness. But let me just say this, man. For everybody that's watching this, that reasonable, rational people are so far removed from racism that, I have never been treated poorly, consequentially poorly by white people. Never. And I'm a black dude with a Southern accent. I don't articulate or enunciate my words appropriately every time. I got tattoos everywhere. And I have not been treated poorly by white people not one time. Whether it's business ventures, whether it's funding, whether it's meetings, White House invites. You would think that I wouldn't have opportunities that other people have. Some of my best friends are white people. Some of my most successful people that I know that have blessed me, given me mentorship and all are all white. Where is this problem at? And this is before I ever became political. One of the men that was a prominent mentor in my life, John, before I was anybody. I was a hood dude with gold teeth in my mouth, a young savage on my stomach, playing football, and this man saw something in me that had nothing to do with football. His support and mentor for me while I was playing football was not even about football. So you can't say, he thought you was going to the NBA, NFL, so he was... No, he actually told me. Pretty much it's what he told me. I'll never forget it. He told me, he said, listen, man, open your mind to the world. I know that you playing football and you think that, you make it to the league, you're going to get paid all this money. He said, let me put this in perspective for you. I get paid more than Tom Brady for the rest of my life. Because he was at the time, he's a CEO of a major multi-billion-dollar company. He's like, I get paid more than Tom Brady for the rest of my life. And unless you like Tom Brady or one of these dudes making that, you're not making crazy money like you think you would. He said the people that fall out of the NFL or go bankrupt, it's 83% of NFL players go bankrupt. He was like, I want you to put that in perspective. And I never thought about it before because y'all got to understand, and when you grow up as a black kid in America, generally speaking, the richest people that you know are athletes. The richest people that you know are selling drugs. The richest people that you know are actors and stuff. You don't know hedge fund managers. You don't know people that own multi-billion-dollar companies that are rich because they're entrepreneurs. You don't really have access to that world. You don't know people that own yachts. You just know people that play for the sport of the person who owned the company that's employing them. And y'all get what I'm saying? Like when I was growing up, I knew people that play for the Cowboys. I didn't know the owner of the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? I know somebody that was sponsored by Sony. I don't know the owner of Sony. I knew somebody that had a Nike deal. I don't know the people that own Nike. I know somebody that works for Amazon. I don't know people that own Amazon. And I want young people to understand there is a big difference. Tom Brady make money. He don't make money like Elon. He don't make money like, for instance, it's a couple, and I'm not gonna lie, I gotta not hate on these people. They sold a poppy. I saw them online the other day for $2.5 billion. There ain't an athlete that making more money than them. Maybe Michael Jordan or somebody, but 99.9% of athletes are not making money like that. I've been in the room and I've spoken to guys who are billionaires. They're on another level and they're not playing sports. They're betting on sports, but they're not playing sports. Anyway, I thought I'd just throw that out there for you. Let's get to Dummy of the Day.
You can't be this dumb.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this just goes back to what I often say, and I did not pick this story. My team picked this story. They didn't know I wanted to go on this rant about black folks, but let me just give you a picture of what I be saying. And when you talk about racism in America, all right, you got the brother right here doing the interview. I want you to look at the two white girls. Look at the way they look and look at the decorum that they have. These are random people that's walking around, look like a party city, maybe Nashville somewhere. And the brother neutralizes the conversation. That brother is in the middle doing an interview. You would think that if black people walked up to him or engaged with him, they would at least treat him with a little bit of respect because he's a brother, right? Watch what happens to the dummies of the day. Roll it.
And y'all had a good conversation.
Anywho, black bitches in the way. Hey, we're ready. What's the questions?
What's your name?
I'm Key.
And you?
I'm Brady.
Why do you think it's appropriate to just run up in our interview mid-conversation?
I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna lie, they white and I don't give a fuck. The whole page me.
I never gave a fuck.
Are you just looking for attention?
No, never. I never gave a fuck.
We want to be fun and come up in the video.
But if I'm in the middle of a conversation with two people.
I'm sorry, y'all. He feel disrespected. I'm
Did you have a problem with it?
and I'm good.
What? So what's the problem now? What's the problem now?
I mean,
we are girls. We are girls, aren't we? Anywho, what's next?
He just cheat me. I don't like his.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next?
I like her.
How much
Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck about interrupting the conversation.
Next?
These hoes love us.
What's next? Because they obviously do love us. So what's next?
What's he?
All right, can I articulate this? And this is what all I say. The two white girls are there. Look at their physique. Normal build, not overweight, not obese. The two black girls that popped up, random girls. One, it looked like she had too many Twinkies. And the other one is kind of thick and kind of chubby too. And what do they do to these women? They assault them by race first. And they don't want to fight these ghetto black girls, so they just capitulated to what they were doing. But this stuff happens all the time. Ask this man who's interviewing. What is his engagement with these people? And listen to his accent. I don't think he's from America, or he's like an African guy. So this stuff goes on often, but nobody want to talk about it. Y'all need to stop this. Before you start talking about racism and white people in America, black people, you need to get their health together. The per capita obesity in the black community is far beyond the white community. And I see it every day when I'm traveling around the country. I'm telling you, the average black person is obese. Women. The men are a little different, but the women are obese. Every time I go to an airport, I just take a mental note. I said, I'm gonna look at every black person that walk through here and every white person. It is embarrassing and sad that black people are not taking care of their health the way that others are doing. That's why black people don't live as long. And that is more crucial of a discussion and topic than it is for people to be talking about racism from white people and oppression and DEI. Focus on heart disease and focus on the homicide rate in the inner city community. Focus on illiteracy rate. That is more important and is gonna move the needle forward than you talking about what white people are doing. I'm gonna say this and we're gonna get to post-show clarity. White people ain't worried about y'all. They're not afraid of you. Generally speaking, they're not inferior to black people. Only inferiority complex that white people have for black people is probably sports. And that's only some sports. Because I don't think white people worry about y'all in water polo. I don't think they worry about you in swimming and diving and the breaststroke. None of that. They not worried about you in gymnastics for the most part. They're not worried about you on a soccer field. They're not worried about you on a javelin throw. And what's the other one where they run around and jump in the water? The steeplechase. They're not worried about you in curling. They're worried about you in bobsled. It was only Jamaican bobsled team was the only one. I ain't never seen black people after that. They're not worried about you in skydiving and then extreme sport, NASCAR. They're not worried about you in nothing else but like football, basketball, and track and field. So the inferiority, and maybe the swag. You know, black people got a little swag on them, but that gets covered up when you gangbanging and doing all this. You can't get into the country club because you're in there looking like a fool. Anyway, we can get to post-show clarity. Shout out to the members. Y'all can jump to post-show clarity. If you're not a member, hit the join button. Just a conversation we have after the show to decompress. All right, love you guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. We out.